Hey everybody, thanks for watching. This is Be Better Golf Live. I'm Brendan DeVore, the host. On this YouTube channel, we do vlogs, and one of the things we do is we follow the progress of Monte, who's a pro golfer who's trying to go into the way beyond plus range and into the Champions Tour eventually, as he's 49 now, right?
49.
49 now, 50 is the minimum age out there. So Monte, first thing, because it got a lot of attention on the channel, just a little bit of reaction now that you've had a little bit of time to decompress after your showing in the Long Beach Open.
Well, you know, obviously I was disappointed because I was pretty horrible the first day tee to green. Yep. But one of my friends made a really interesting comment. He said, look, Monte, you haven't played any tournament golf for 10 years. And, you know, you've been teaching full time, you're a full-time dad, you know, single dad half the week, you know, and you went out and played against 300 guys who play every single day and that's their job. And you beat more than 2/3 of them. It was a good first step.
Yeah.
In that context, yeah, that's great. Yeah. But I'd been hitting the ball pretty well. I mean, not great, but pretty well for the last couple of months. And that first day was just, I mean, I look like an 8 handicap who was having his career short game day to save a 74. Yeah. It was pretty ugly. And, you know, there were a lot of comments about, you know, that I was hurting myself with my attitude. And
well, it does on film. Anything looks way bigger than it is. So like this, or like, oh, gosh, it seems just like this mental meltdown.
See, again, just like when you watch a tour event on TV, you only see the guys driving it down the middle, knocking it close, and hooping in every putt. Yeah. So you're not seeing the guys that are shooting 78, 78 and missing the cut. Those guys are way. You go out and you put a camera in the face of the guys that are shooting 73 to 76 on Thursday and Friday. You're going to see a lot uglier attitudes than you saw from me. And in addition, I'm not one of those guys that can walk around like it's not me. I have to vent. I have to let it go. And the only evidence that I can give that I wasn't hurting myself with the poor attitude is if you take, I made 1 double bogey and I made 8 bogeys. Yeah. So that's 9 bad holes, so to speak, okay? Yeah. The 9 holes that I had following those 8 bogeys and that 1 double bogey, I was 3 under those 8 holes. So I didn't let it get to me. I got rid of it and I moved on. Yeah. So, you know, that's kind of a, like a cookie cutter, you know, you're not supposed to have a cookie cutter golf swing. Everybody swings differently. Everybody has a little bit, like if Dustin Johnson went out there and started slamming clubs and cursing and stuff, he'd be pretty bad off because that's not
outside his personality.
Right.
Yeah.
If you ask Tiger in his prime to walk around and not curse and not slam clubs and not go like this every time he missed a putt, that's not him. Yep. So this conversation is not about me because I'm done with my round. It's about the rest of you out there. Those of you that are like emotional people and like, you know, are really up and down when you watch your college football team or, you know, whatever, you're an emotional guy. I'm not saying helicopter a club every time you get mad, but you got to let it out. Yeah. You know, we were discussing before we came on film that Seinfeld episode where Costanza's dad kept going, serenity now, serenity now, was trying to hold it all in, and then he blew up.
That takes a lot of energy to go against your personality.
It takes a lot of energy to go against your personality.
You might as well just,
You know, and like I said, you don't want to be helicoptering clubs like McElroy did, that one famous one, but you gotta be yourself, and I was. Now, the people that mentioned that, they weren't being negative. They're like, you know, all the positive comments was pretty overwhelming to me to see how many people were, you know, vestedly interested in my succeeding. So all of you that said, you know, the attitude was a problem, I wasn't offended. I could see where you were saying that, but you know, and I could understand that if I was putting multiple bogeys together after I was getting down on myself, then I would have agreed. But again, you got to be yourself.
Yep. Okay, so beyond that, what thing would you like to improve for your next tournament if you had to just pick out one thing?
Oh, I mean, there's only one thing I needed to improve. I did everything right during that tournament. I didn't let my swing was awful the first day.
Yeah.
And the second day, I'd call it mediocre. It was okay. It was manageable. And I didn't let it get to me. I didn't blow up. I didn't lose it. You know, I tried to grind it out as best as I could.
But if you had to improve one thing for your next...
Just swinging better.
Okay.
So yeah, I did everything I possibly could correctly except for swing correctly. And it was...
Well, sometimes you're not going to have that swing, though.
But that, I mean, that wasn't just my F swing. That was F.
Right.
I haven't swung that poorly in 3 or 4 years.
Well, you had kind of a bad move going on, and then you put that together with tempo that's not normal for you, a faster tempo than normal.
The swing wasn't, the swing in and of itself was not that bad.
Yeah.
It was too short, the transition was too fast, and I never had a chance to, you know, line things up. So I either left the club face wide open and blocked it a mile right, or I stalled and flipped it and snap hooked it left.
Yeah.
So, you know, that was what I changed the second day. All I did the second day was I tried to lengthen my golf swing a little bit to give me a little more time to not be so quick.
So you changed your timing in getting longer rather than just like staying the same length and trying to put in some unnatural pause or something up.
Right.
Or some unnatural slowness in the backswing.
Right.
Just make it a little longer and swing the same.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly right. And you know, again, you know, the second day, I said this on one of the tee shots, it wasn't artistic, but I made 7 birdies, and quite honestly, I don't pay attention to what the cut line is. That was never a good thing for me to do. Okay. The best thing for me to do is to go out and just attack the golf course and make as many birdies as I can, try to out-birdie my mistakes, and then at the end of the day, go look at the score and see, you know, and it turns out that birdie putt that I left short on 16 would have put me in position to make the cut, to only have to birdie one of the last 2 holes to get in.
Yeah.
So to look at that and say 350 professionals that play every day, cutting the low 60 in ties, I was right there with 3 holes to go. And with, you know, my F game the first day and maybe B- game the second day.
Yeah. Last question about Monte's game, and then we'll move on to questions about your guys' game. What's your next tournament? What's the next step in this kind of leapfrogging?
I've got the next 3 weeks I'm playing 3-day Golden State Tour events.
Okay.
2 of them are in Temecula. One of them is in Palm Springs. And here's what's really, really good about this.
That's good because Palm Springs, you can go low in Palm Springs,
well,
I know for sure.
I was going to get to that.
Yeah.
The first course is the Temecula Creek Inn. That course, I've played it before. It suits my game. I can do pretty well there.
Yeah.
But then the second and third ones, and I'm looking at this as a positive, not a negative. The second one is Bear Creek, which doesn't favor my game very well. And then the third one is the Greg Norman course at PGA West.
Oh, my favorite course. I love that course. Everyone hates it.
I tell you what,
that's really my favorite course.
You could not design a course worse for me than that place.
Yeah, I can see that. For sure.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
I need to go there and stop worrying about what's here, what's there, and just focus on my game and just make a swing, go out, find it, and do it again.
Right. If you guys look on Be Better Golf on the channel, you'll see this clickbaity, misleading title that says 9 holes versus Greg Norman. That's the second 9 at that course. I just love it.
Horrendous.
And everyone I've met, because I have friends out there that can let me play free golf out there sometimes. I couldn't find any of them to go with me to play that course because nobody wants to play it.
Well,
but I really like it.
I was a member there.
Yeah.
I was a member at PGA West.
Just never went over there.
Nobody I knew wanted to play.
No, nobody did. Now there's a funny thing about that course is there's an urban legend that Norman designed the course, then came out to open the course and shot 83 on the first day of it, hitting out of those little bushes he has everywhere.
Yes.
So
I was told by a member that watched that I didn't hear 83, but I heard over 80.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, there are just so many places on that golf course where you can hit a good shot and just, I mean, a shot down the fairway, down the middle, and just get screwed and lose your ball and end up unplayable.
No, I don't really know why. I really like that course. To me, it's a lot of fun.
You're nuts. What else?
Yeah, right. So, all right, moving on to your guys' questions. Tonight we have a production assistant with us, John. He's a viewer of Be Better Golf. All right, John, what's the first best question you have for us?
So Justin wants to know, how do you release the club from the top? What does that feel like?
Okay, so we talked about this a little bit when I was handle dragging and doing some other thing. I think that's connected to this. So what do you think?
It all, I mean, whenever you're talking about the golf swing, the first word is always, the first two words is always, it depends. Okay. In theory, which almost never applies to the golf swing.
Right.
You want the release to happen by itself. You want it to be the Webster's Dictionary definition. Let go. Yeah, that's what release means. Right. Let go. But sometimes you have to, so there's two different ways that I describe a release from the top. And you have to know which one of these people you are. All right? And it would take 3 hours to go through this, but you'll know pretty quickly. Number one is you want the left arm rotating and folding from the top. Okay.
So here's the top.
Yes.
So it's got to rotate and fold.
Right.
Right.
Okay. If you hit a lot of balls in the toe, you're probably one of those.
Okay.
Okay. And the other way of releasing from the top is having the intent of throwing that right wrist angle away. You had some success with that.
Yeah.
Okay. If you take real deep divots, if you don't hit the ball with a lot of spin on it, if your arms and hands are behind you, you're more of a candidate for letting that right wrist angle go.
Now, in the general kind of demographic of Be Better Golf, which is the 0 to 15 handicapper, what do you see more of that guys need to add more into their game?
More guys need to get rid of that right. And like you learned, the irony of throwing away that right wrist angle as an intent, you actually sustain it longer.
Yeah, you get it out in front of you. Yeah. All right, so let's hit some shots. Monte, show us you're really good at hitting bad shots on purpose.
Okay.
So let me see an improper release.
Okay, what kind of improper release do you want to see? There's many of them. You know,
I want to see a guy that's not really releasing it. A guy that's swinging and just basically like desperate to sustain the lag.
Right.
Handle drag.
There's this guy.
Right.
Okay.
You can see how much your lower body's going after.
And then I just held on for dear life.
Okay.
And you know, I hit that 7-iron about 120 yards.
Okay.
Then there's the guys who, you know, swing too much to right field.
Yeah.
And if they actually let the club rotate, they'd snap hook all of them, you know, and that's,
right.
And then you get one of those.
Right, they're thinking like, oh, I'm over the top, I gotta swing to first base, it's that guy.
Right.
All right, so now there's a million different variations of the bad golfer. So let's see just one example of, I just want you to hit a shot thinking about the left arm rolling and folding.
Okay, so the guy that needs to rotate the left arm and fold would be the guy that has had trouble hitting some hooks in his life, and he kind of pulls with the left elbow.
Yeah.
You know, the chicken wing.
Yep.
Okay, and you can see that was a big hold off.
Yeah, big divot.
Okay, exactly, big divot. And you could see, even from that camera angle, my elbow come over here.
You're just like protecting your body too.
Right.
You gotta shorten
So
it.
what you do is just from right here, you just want to feel that left arm. See, that's why you want to be a toe guy, because when you rotate the left arm, it kicks the club out. If you hit the ball in the heel a lot, you don't want to be a left arm rotator.
Okay, yeah.
Okay? So
let's see a good one with the left arm rotation.
The guys that end up like this, you know, these are the guys that kind of need the...
Great.
Okay.
Okay, and then just a good one with the no turning cast kind of feel.
Okay, this is the one where, you know, the people that they kind of go this way too much, and then their lower body gets out and they get a little trapped. So that's just here, there.
All right, John, what do we have? What's our next question?
So Nathan is having a struggle dropping his hands and arms about a foot under the plane on the downswing.
Yeah, I see that.
You have drills for that.
Yeah, I see.
So show me the problem first, because I don't really understand that.
Okay. I see this on days where I give, I try not, I'm not an 8-hour-a-day lesson guy because I don't want to be the last 3 people being like, just do that. You know, especially in the heat of the summer now, I want to be fresh. And about 5 is where I start to be like, okay, I'm ready. But in a 5-lesson day, I'm going to have one guy that does this. So what that is you know, this all initiated as someone that used to be like this, and they're like, oh, you know, you need to drop it in the slot.
Like
I hate that
straight
term.
down and around.
Drop it in the slot. And it ends up being lots of blocks and lots of hooks. You know, I had to fight. I got L wedge in my hand, and I had to fight not to hit that thing over there.
It's funny because you make these swings of like kind of mimicking a golf fault, and I've seen that golfer before a lot of times.
Oh, I see it all over the place.
Yeah.
Okay, the best way to fix that is you've got to feel that elbow to shoulder working out and forward. Okay?
Like a straight line to the ball.
Straight line to the ball or toward the target. You can do it toward the ball or toward the target. The people that have this move going on, they're dropping the right shoulder, they're getting really vertical, and then all they've got to finish is to get this, to get it to the ball. And a lot of those people end up putting the ball too far back in their stance, which just exacerbates the whole thing.
So let's just see a good one with this feel.
Here's how you know you've done this right. If you're one of these guys, you know you've done it right. I just came straight over the top of that like a 30 handicapper, and you've kind of peeked through your fingers and went, wait a second, that ball went straight and drew 2 yards. When you feel like you've come straight over the top of it and you hit a perfect shot.
Because you almost get in arguments with students sometimes. We'll do the move, and they'll be like, Monte, that's over the top. I'm going to be laughed at.
Every day. Every day. And as long as you're not bringing your head out with you. So it's that move. So all it is you just bring the elbow and the shoulder forward. Okay?
That's really nice.
And I'm not underneath right now, so that made me kind of pull it a little bit. Okay? So, but it really, really helps. And sometimes when you've got this so ingrained, it's a loop. And quite often those guys will be out and then loop it in. So you remember we had that one video we worked on deep out?
Deep and out,
Deep and out. So you get the hands back and you get the shoulder out.
What's next, John?
So we actually have a few people asking about curing a slice, specifically with driver. A lot of people are slicing, and they want to know if you have any advice.
Absolutely.
We'll get into the slice in just a second. Real quick before we do, though, because there was a question that came in before that I wanted to talk about.
Yes.
Just hot topic. Like 2 hours ago, Nike announced that they're no longer making golf equipment. Did you hear this?
No.
Yeah, they're out of it. They're going to be like Under Armour. They're going to make golf shirts, golf shoes, and pants. They were no longer making clubs, balls, or bags. They're out of that. Just an instant reaction.
Oh, I'll tell you what, TaylorMade and Callaway and Titleist are thrilled.
This is like insider trading stuff. I would have bought Callaway yesterday if I knew somebody at Nike. I mean, you guys have to send me these tips.
Absolutely.
So that's the big news today, and it's got to be connected. I mean, really, Nike Golf started when Tiger Woods' career started, and Nike Golf is now effectively dead as an equipment company when Tiger's career is, for the moment, looking like it's over. So.
Right. Well, this is what happened is, everybody's saying that golf is in trouble and golf is declining. In my opinion, I talked to I know an economist. And I had a long discussion with him. To me, it's nothing more than a market correction that going back to the norm after the boom that Tiger created. And people just went, there were too many club companies, too many people producing golf clubs, too many golf courses being built. When Tiger created a false boom in the game where people jumped on the bandwagon and they're like, all the people that weren't golfers and just played golf because Tiger created such a sensation, those are most of the people that are leaving the game.
Yeah.
And sure, you know, the way the economy crashed in 2008, that didn't help either. But golfers are always going to play golf, you know. And so now the sole equipment companies, the Titleists, the Callaways, the TaylorMades, now all of a sudden that Nike, which I'm sure had a pretty large market share, that's going to kind of, so hopefully those companies won't say, oh, look, there's an uptick, let's overdo it again.
Yeah.
And they'll just say, okay, we're getting a little bit of bump here because Nike went out of business, or Nike's getting out of the business. So anyways.
So let's move on. So we have a very popular topic to cover right now.
The slice.
The slice with the driver.
Okay, here's the deal, all right? There's two different kinds of slicers. There's the beginner high handicap slicer, which goes like this and like that.
Yeah.
The only way to fix that is you got to play more golf. But since you
get more golf swings in your body.
Right,
Just
right.
swing, yeah.
But you, like you said, most of the people that watch the channel are 0 to 15 handicappers. The 0 to 15 handicappers who slice the ball without fail are shaft steepeners.
Yes.
Without fail. And you happen to be one of those, but you actually hit hooks when you do it, and I won't get into that. But essentially, there's two different things we're dealing with here. The hit impulse, which we all have.
Yep.
And quite honestly, the lag culture has created a lot of this as well. Okay? So, we got to have lots and lots of lag, so we take a backswing and then we yank on the handle really, really hard so we can get lots and lots of lag.
Yeah.
And what happens there is when you yank really, really hard, you get the club in this position.
So just to show everybody, steep, like when Monte first talked about steep, I was thinking steep like from a face-on kind of saying.
I make a mistake doing that. I've been trying to stop that. Steep and shallow is more angle of attack to the ball.
Right.
Vertical and horizontal.
Yeah, more
with the
vertical.
shaft.
Yeah.
Okay?
That seems to click
you know
a little
what?
better.
It's force of habit. I call it steep. More vertical with the shaft. And what happens is when you get more vertical with the shaft, then you go like that, and guess where that ball's going to go?
Yeah. So you're saying your body is kind of athletically reacting to the shaft being too vertical and makes a correction at the last moment?
It either, okay, so you won't hit the ball from there.
Yeah.
So there's two different.
Yeah, if you just went there, you'd miss it by a foot on the outside. Yeah.
So there's two general corrections the body makes from here. One is this way, which can be a block slice, or a snap hook.
Yeah.
Any of the three, all bad. Or yanking this way with the left elbow, which is this one.
Yep.
Okay. So what you want to do is when you start the downswing, you want the shaft working this way.
So you want to feel like on the downswing, you're kind of actively laying it off.
Right. See, and here's where I think golf instruction goes wrong. People want to cure this by saying, you know, drop the right shoulder, swing the right field, all of that nonsense. And then you end up like the first guy who asked the question is, you know, how do I stop dropping? Because you're like, oh, like this? Yeah. Oh, you need to drop the right shoulder and swing the right field. That's the wrong way to fix it.
So you're talking about don't go like this. Just take your hands. The hand path is basically the same. You're just doing this.
Correct.
Yeah.
So you don't want to do this to fix it because, you know, this is snap hook city from here because you're going to stall and roll. To fix this, you still want your hands working out, but you want the club working back. And people are going to look at me and go, wow, that's really hard. Well, it's not, you know. This is one of there's 2 or 3 different moves in the golf swing that are extremely difficult to master. And this is one of them, is getting the hands to continue to work on this angle without the club working that angle. That's
let's
hard.
see it, Monte. Hit a shot here. Oh, let me move this a little bit if it bothers.
Shay, is it okay if I hit your driver?
Yeah. You gonna put a big sky mark on it?
Absolutely.
20 handicap. Great shot. Cool. And the face survived. You're checking it?
I didn't hit it.
Right.
I didn't do that to you.
Okay, so what time is it now, John?
It is 7:51.
So thanks for joining us, guys. This is Be Better Golf Live. We air this live on YouTube. YouTube actually has a YouTube Live thing. A lot of people don't know this. It's a small product that they have. But YouTube does do live streaming, and that's where we do this. Just like Periscope or Facebook Live, we do this on YouTube. So just every Wednesday at 7:30. John, what's our next question? We'll do about this question and one more, probably.
Kind of piggybacking off the last topic, people are having success shallowing the club, but then are the bad shots just from the body not rotating well after that?
That's, I mean, you know, you're looking to go away from the two extremes. This is extreme number one, this is extreme number two.
Yeah.
And generally speaking, the ones that are shallowing and it's staying back too long, I don't like to speak in terms of correct, because that is so arbitrary in the golf swing. I like to say, here's a guideline, be near this. Mm-hmm. When you're coming into impact, you want, when the shaft is parallel to the ground, the shaft and the hands to kind of be in line here. This, you're going to be susceptible to blocks and hooks. This is susceptible to pulls and slices.
Wow.
Okay? Mm-hmm. So when you shallow the shaft too much, you tend to get here.
Yeah.
And that's usually from the right shoulder not working out and forward soon enough.
Yep.
Okay? So if you're having a little bit of trouble with this, you need to get the shoulder out and forward sooner. They said rotate the body better. Yes, I would agree with that. You can call it rotating the body better, right shoulder working out sooner, left shoulder separating from the chin sooner. It's, I go on.
Because I think a lot of people, when they get this kind of laid off feeling, they can sometimes get back to being stuck again.
Right.
So how do you keep that right arm active while you're laying it off?
It's got to,
it's got to work out with the right shoulder.
It's hard. I mean, look.
I'll try it.
One of the reasons why I drove the ball so crappy on Thursday was because I was standing there. I stand the shaft up too much with my driver, okay? And when I lay it down, I drop my right shoulder too much. So, you know, I'm a pretty talented guy. I can do a lot of different things with a club. You know, I have a vague idea on how the swing's supposed to work, and it's still hard.
So we're going here and out and so like if we had a video that was called deep and out, this is almost out and off, you know, out and laid off a little bit.
Well, this is part of the deep and out.
Actually off and out.
This is part of the deep and out. You know, you get back there. Go ahead, take it back.
Okay.
Take it back and stay there. What you're looking to do is go like this.
Oh, okay. It's funny, it really feels like you're rolling the wrist as you're doing it.
You know, a lot of people will tell you, a lot of instructors will tell you that that's how you move that, is the first move down is you go like this.
Motorcycle.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's give it a shot. So I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna feel this motorcycle move as I'm going out to it. And I'm gonna get deep on my backswing. So deep motorcycle and out.
Almost. That wasn't too bad.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. Right down the middle.
See, so there's, you know, you'll see a guy like Dustin Johnson and Danny Willett, who they have really, really high hands, and then they shallow as their hands work down. That's, in my opinion, that's a pretty difficult move to make.
What's our next one?
So there's a question about ball flight. Someone is concerned about their low ball flight. They want to know how they can increase it, or if that matters.
Well, there's a couple of different reasons for this.
Yeah.
Number one, they could be getting their head forward, which is that's the most common swing affliction. Mm-hmm. Is, you know, start of the backswing, you know, start of the downswing, the head moves forward, makes you really steep, ball takes off low. But quite honestly, we're in an era of low spinning drivers and low spinning golf balls, and a lot of people just don't put enough spin on the golf ball, and it comes out too low.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So, you know, if it's not, it could be a physical error, you know, with the upper body moving forward. I had a guy come here the other day who was literally making contact with his driver like this because he was supposed to have shaft lean.
Yeah.
He was overdoing it, wasn't releasing the club. But quite honestly, it could be an equipment issue as well. I'd say 1 out of every 3 people that come to me, they don't spin their drivers enough and they come out too low.
Mm-hmm. But if somebody feels like they're hitting it too low and it's not an equipment issue,
either they're set up too much on top of it, you know, with not enough not enough tilt behind the ball, or they're getting their upper body forward. There's a 90% sure
I mean,
chance
that's
it's one of
something
those.
in the history of doing this channel and looking at my own game and also all the comments you guys make. I mean, there's very little blanket statements you can say about golf, but I can definitely say that 100% of people should at least take a camera out and look at themselves face on and just see what your head's doing on the downswing. Just see if you're getting this way. If you're getting, Bobby Lopez calls it offsides on the way down, I think that's really valuable to everybody. All right, you got a quick one for us, John, before we wrap it up?
Someone wants to know, with the chipping technique around the greens and thicker rough, do you change anything about the technique?
Okay, that's an excellent question. I've had a lot of people. I do traveling golf schools where I go to some city. I just got back from Columbus and New Jersey and Dallas, where 15 people show up and say, Monte, make fun of us for 3 days, and we have a great time. But they're like, okay, I bought your video, I use the bounce, all that good stuff, but obviously you have to be steeper and accelerate more when you're in thick rough. And I say, well, that's not true. What you need is more motion. And this sounds ridiculous, but there's two different things. If you go out, when you're steep and you karate chop and you accelerate out of deep rough, you can fluff it sometimes, you can hit it high on the club face sometimes, or if you get ball first contact in that deep rough, you're going like this to it. The way that I show people how to do it, and I promise you, if you try it a couple of times, it absolutely works. And here's what you do. I'll simulate it on this regular grass here.
Okay.
There's two different things you do. Number one, you don't use speed. Well, the rough is going to stop the club, okay? Well, you have a pre-intent that club is going to go all the way through, no matter what you get into. Okay?
Right, because a lot of guys in deep rough, they'll try to hit one of these, old man shots.
The ball comes out hot, the ball comes out low, and if you can bring it out hot and low, that's fine. But if you get up there and make a swing like this, you got to grip it harder because you don't want the rough grabbing the club. And most people will go, and they'll swing kind of slow, and then they'll get caught in the rough, and they're like, see, Monte had enough speed. But if you make an effort, actually, I'm gonna chunk this on purpose so I get some resistance, and watch what I do. If you keep going all the way through, and you have an intent, no matter how much resistance you have there, that you're gonna keep going all the way through, you watch how high and soft that ball comes out. It doesn't, I have 30 handicaps that can do it, and they're like, I can't believe the ball came out. Rough this long, it will come out. You have to fight the urge to stop, and you got to get all the way through it.
All right, hit a good one like that, Monte, from This Good Lie. So you're just thinking, I'm gonna get to here, hell or high water. It's gonna be. Okay, go ahead. Oh yeah, really good. Really good.
And quite honestly, out of 4-inch rough, the ball will come out that high and soft.
You're just feeling.
See, that's Ferrari. I call it Ferrari versus minivan acceleration.
Yes, that was a little too zippy.
That was Ferrari acceleration.
So you get there, but get there eventually. Don't go straight there. Here,
correct.
That was better.
Yep.
Cool. Okay, guys. So that's it. Thanks for tuning in. Reminder to hit the subscribe button if you haven't. All you live guys, I hope, are subscribers. But I do see on my analytics that 66% of the people who are watching regularly are not subscribers. So hit the button and definitely subscribe. It's free.
And hit it long as well. YouTube/hit it long.
Oh yeah, of course. So go to youtube.com/hititlong, Monte's YouTube page.
My channel. Yeah.
And you can find out more about Monte at montescheinblum.com, where he does these really cool blogs weekly and sometimes more often than that. So check it out and talk to you later. Cool, thanks, John.